Hey, welcome to the StackChart Spotlight. I'm Steve Taylor. This is Garrett Brown, and we're from Channel Program.
What's up,
Garrett,
man?
What's up, man? Hey, have you seen the movie Risky Business?
Yes, but yeah, I have. Dude, I think you're a little mixed up today. We're going to be talking about risk and compromise assessment today. I mean, that's kind of we're not talking about Risky Business movie. That I guess that's for another conversation. But yes, I have. But
there goes everything I had planned for today's episode.
I'm not even gonna. No. Just move on.
All right, let's dive into the StackChart.
All right, yeah, there we go.
All right. So first of all, before we get into the StackChart, I want to remind everyone that on Wednesday, March 27th at noon, we have All-Stars happening, and you should definitely attend this. Register and attend. We've got panels happening. We've got speakers. It's going to be a fantastic event. And the first 200 registrants get a copy of Michael's book, which is going to be really awesome. So definitely check that out. Now, moving on to the StackChart, we have one company that's up in the chart toppers quadrant, and that company is USecure. So hey, congrats USecure. Good job on you guys. But the other thing I notice is there's just a lot of companies here, man. Risk assessment, and this is just a huge category. What's going on here, man?
Oh, dude, risk and compromise assessments are like something that there's like been an explosion in this because of a lot of the machine learning, AI, and being able to congregate things into a way where you don't need like that technical staff that we used to have. There's the specialty roles. I mean, don't get me wrong, you still do, but what they're able to do is make this, they're using their own staff and they're translating it to nice dashboards that are quick and easy. And it's just a lot of complexity out there. And I think one of the things about it is like things move so fast. So the AI, ML, all that comes quick. So, and on the flip side of that, there is sort of, there's now teeth in terms of like, if you're not doing it, you can lose business, or there could be some laws, or, especially if you have clients in certain industries, but there's compliance that, maybe you're going to have to do. And then, and also everybody asks about security. I don't care who you are. So it's a way of showing you're increasing your security posture because you have to. And the other thing too is business continuity. You go down or your clients go down, everybody notices. So it is one of those things where these guys just make it easy. So I'm really glad to see this is up there because, if not, the bad guys and all these guys, they have all these resources and stuff to be able to keep way ahead of you. These guys are pulling everything together so you can keep up or ahead and proactive. So I love it.
Well, one thing that I like to do is I like to put my MSP CEO hat on, and I like to look at reviews. Okay, and something that I like to do is, and maybe I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but like right now these are sorted by most recent. I like to sort this by like lowest satisfaction rating, or something along those lines, because I want to look at the most critical reviews. And the reason I say that is because I don't always take everything that I see in these reviews as like, um, I don't even know how to describe it.
Uh,
I take everything I read with a grain of salt, but I am interested in what some of these MSPs have to say when
mhm.
they get a little more critical about some of these platforms. So I always do that. But like I said, take everything you read here with a grain of salt because bottom line, somebody might not like something that you see on a platform and you might think it's great. Like I couldn't stand the look and feel of one of the RMM tools because I just didn't get it, but it was one of the most popular ones out there. So,
Yeah.
you know, take what you see there with a grain of salt, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But that's a great way for you to look and see right away to find out the weaknesses that are in each of these platforms.
Yeah.
So if we look through, let me go back. Let me look at USecure. If we look through here, you're going to see that people praise them for ease of use, and a common theme of something that they can improve is going to be product training. And that doesn't necessarily mean the product training is bad. It could just use an improvement. So be sure to check out the reviews of products and services in our stack charts so you can make an educated decision on the right tool for your MSP. All right. So let's head over into the feature spotlight section of StackChart Spotlight. Um, I gotta say, I was really impressed when doing research on all of these different platforms. I kept gravitating over to Televi, and I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I've never had an opportunity to speak with these guys. I hope that they reach out and we can do a demo day soon. But something that I was really impressed with is they seem to use machine learning to automate their security assessments. So if you're familiar with what LionGuard has done for documentation with collecting all of the data and entering it automatically into IT Glue or Hoodoo, that seems to be what Televi is doing for security assessments. Garrett, is there anything that you liked about Televi?
Um, I think a big thing is that the fact that they're aligning with like some of the NIST cybersecurity framework. I
Hmm.
think that's a big deal because it's not just about like, oh, I'm with NIST or anything, but it's helping like show that they're responsible for thinking organization. They're thinking ahead, and um, and how it extends to the MSPs. So when you use frameworks like NIST, and there's many others out there, but um, things like this, it helps in a lot of areas that not just to help in the areas, but for you to think about like, you have like the risk management. And the other thing too is the supply chain security. Looking at that, thinking about like adaptive like postures, like what's your posture and you can adapt to it. Like, okay, we have that, like, so when you abide by a baseline, a framework, um, it's definitely going to set the bar and the standard for you and others, and you could show to your clients. But also, it really helps. The more people that are on these frameworks, insurance companies are, kind of moving eyes toward like, hey, what kind of framework are you on? And more of these guys are wanting to know. So it's one of those things where you just really have to know that we need to be on this, but the company you're using is going to help you achieve this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Um, yeah. So I mean, I like that because it just makes things so much easier. Baselines and frameworks are so, yeah, it just really helps. A lot of benefits.
Yeah. And, personally, I'm a fan of CIS controls, but that's not because I think um, they're more like, I don't know. I don't think they're stronger. The reason I like CIS, Garrett, it's because they've got those worksheets that basically say change all of these settings in Office 365 so that way you're in implementation group 1. And so they just make it really easy for you to like they've got step-by-step instructions on how to configure Microsoft 365, Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android. But again, that's not to say it's better than NIST CSF or NIST, what is it, 800, 171, all these other cybersecurity frameworks and controls that are out there. I just like it because it's like hitting the easy button.
Yeah, I mean, you could use both of them. It just depends. Because there's all kinds of ways that you can use this.
Yeah.
It's not really one or the other, but you could definitely use them. Kind of thread it into your approach and how you want to get things done. So,
Mhm.
because internal, external, there's all kinds of stuff that you could position those frameworks in.
So, Garrett, let's put our COO hats on. As before I was wearing the CEO hat. Now I want to wear the operations hat. Um, Typically, the operations person is who's going to evaluate the cybersecurity risk assessment and management platforms, while the CEO goes and does much more important things, right? So, what I like to do is the third segment of StackChart Spotlight is what I call MSP Buyer's Guide. I'd like to go over some questions that you MSPs should be asking uh, when you're evaluating cybersecurity risk and assessment. Risk and compromise assessment platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question, can the platform seamlessly integrate with our existing technology stack? So, you want to make sure that it integrates if you're using a SIM or a SOC with those platforms, or even just, do you want it to integrate with your RMM or PSA for some reason? The
Yeah.
next question is, what cybersecurity frameworks does the platform align with? Earlier, you heard, for example, Telovy aligns with NIST CSF. There are other platforms out there that will align with CIS controls, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you'll find something international that aligns with ISO 27001. It really, you got to find the one that works with your cybersecurity framework and controls.
Yeah.
Garrett,
Uh,
what do you think?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff here, but one of the things that I like is like, how does it assess risk?
Mm.
Is it like in this questionnaire as you go there? Is it using internal, external scanning, or are they offering a little bit of both? So that's a really good way to know, because assessing the risk is one of those things where it's like one time or you have to continue it. So knowing how that works is a really big part of how you're gonna kind of figure out how to offer and explain and figure out where you are. In response to that, after that assessment is done, the reporting. How is that reporting user friendly to to the executives, to your clients, and then for your techs, do we understand when we're looking at this of these vulnerabilities, or is this something that I need to go over into my engineering, or so the reporting that they offer is going to be everywhere from high level to for the business operations that slash marketing slash sales, because that really that's the messaging that high level does. But then you have the internal, which is like, okay, here's what we need to do to get everything shored up, or maybe this is a 0 day, so it's very important to see what's the high level down to the depth that it can offer. So that's
Absolutely, yeah. And something else to think about is, how does this platform guide remediation efforts? Is it going to do it automatically? Is it going to give you step-by-step instructions, or is it just going to say this thing's wrong and leave that completely up to interpretation for you to figure out how to fix it?
Yeah, that's the remediation is an interesting thing, because I see things and you don't have the abilities to say one click, do it. But I'm very nervous to do that. I need to understand what it's doing, and I like that, because that's kind of one of those things where it kind of leads into the workflow capabilities. Like, if it sees that, do I want to have like workflows based around certain things that finds? Yeah, go ahead and fix that, or whatever, or like alert me and then do it, because then I could assign to my team. I could track it and see what's going on, and then and the auditing aspects of it, what was automated, what do we have to get our hands on? So I think that, that approach, especially with the workflow capabilities, yeah, man, that's a big one. A lot of people are doing automated remediation, but still, it's yeah, depends on the platform. So
Yeah. And the one last thing I want you guys to consider is, earlier we talked about integrations with our platforms, but you also might want to consider what integrations they're using to enable their platform. For example, I'm going to pick on Garrett a little bit because he's right, and I hate that he's right.
what?
Hold on. So there are some tools that I'm used to using from back before I joined Channel Program that I'm no longer allowed to use, and that's because these tools might integrate with like OpenAI, Chat GPT, and the reason for that is we want to make sure we have control over where our data resides and what our data is being used for. So, Garrett, can you talk about, real quick, like 20 seconds, the importance of that?
Of just, like the integrations aspect. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, when you're playing baseball, you knock it out of the park, you don't know where the ball is going to land or hit. It's like data. Where is it going to go? Where is it going to land? What's it going to hit? What damage is it going to cause? Is it going to break a windshield? In the baseball sense, but also once it's there, you don't have eyes on it anymore, and and you don't know what people are doing. You don't, and internally they could be doing trials and not realize that, hey, I connected our 265, I signed in, it's pulling in, well, whatever, or you don't know, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
That's what it comes down to, because shadow IT, it could be compliance. You don't know. So there's a lot of that. It's really, least privileged, least trusted. You just really have to, lock it down. You have to, because everybody is being targeted. And you might find out later down the road and be like, well, we have nothing to do with those guys. But then you find out, three of my internal people connected to it. I had no clue. So yeah, it's very important for that, because you need to be able to kind of say, I know exactly what's going on. If you don't know what's going on, I don't know. I don't sleep at night. I just don't. Especially guys like you, Steve, just connecting everything.
I'm sorry,
kidding.
Garrett.
I'm kidding.
I promise I'm going to do better. Well, hey, that's it for today's StackChart Spotlight. Join us next week where we talk about business continuity and disaster recovery platforms for a special day after World Backup Day edition of StackChart Spotlight.
World Backup Day. Okay. All right. Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, cool. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, thank you all.